Welcome to a review of one of the latest tracks I bought on an EP on vinyl. Purpose of this video is to review tracks to give you guys some inspiration and some ideas for producers. I'm always looking for new talent on Orbis Records, and this is how I listen to tracks, how I select people to come on the label. And I do this by listening to sound color, mixing, use of sound, use of arrangement, and so on. And there are actually three interesting parts of this track, of a track essentially, and this is the beginning, the mid, and the end. Let me first put on this record. It's the Quod EP. I'll look it up in the Discogs library for you guys, and it's called A.r.t.less. Artwork is by Mo, coincidence, and I think it's the A1. It's hard to tell if it's the A1 or the A2 or B1 or B2. It's hard to it's hard to see. There's no reasonable this or that side. It's very annoying. I think it's the A1 Quad. Let me just put it on a plate and then let's listen to it. So I'm going to listen with my headphones on to get a really good sense of the sound. I really would advise that you listen to this video, this podcast, this track, this music with your headphones on. Choose a decent headphone to listen to all the details. Let me first look it up on Discogs to show you what track this is, and then we go into specifics of the track. Meanwhile, enjoy the track. This is Waveguide Quod EP. It's on the A.r.t.less label from Germany. They're actually quite a time active, since 2006, sorry. And it has not been on my radar, but since now it is. It's very interesting to see on Discogs. So Waveguide was one of the last ones. To see that it sells from 673 euros, which is quite nice. Gives you an indication of the decency of the quality of the track. It's quite expensive, so some of them would ask 34 euros, which is kind of high. So basically, if you see that a track is on Discogs above the average order price when it's new, like 8 to 9, 10 euros, maybe 11, it goes from 13 to 30, which is quite a lot. So it could mean that this is a very qualitative track, qualitative EP, and that's could give you a fair sense of this is maybe a thing you want to buy if you see it in store for maybe 9 or 10 euros. Going into the specifics of the track exactly, let me put that Discogs link on so you can see Mint Condition, Quad, Tightrope, Lemma, and Cubic Root. This is Quod. Maybe I'll skip to Tightrope to give you an idea of what I'm talking about. If you're looking for, if I'm looking for tracks, what I mean by skipping 2 tracks to see if it really has potential, if it really sounds good. Basically, a track is built up in 3 parts, which is fairly known as the beginning, the middle, and the end. But the most interesting part is actually that the beginning is very essential to give DJs a proper intro to mix, to make it decent, to have a good balance. It sets the record, it sets the atmosphere from the beginning, which is very, very important for a track if it needs to stand alone. Then you have the middle of the track, which basically could be 2 parts, could be building up towards a break and then deconstructing the track till the end, which is the end part, or it could be like flatline with interesting tweaks like minimalistic touches, extra sounds, extra effects, extra glitches, extra hi-hats, extra claps, leaving out claps, leaving out hi-hats, the minimalistic approach. So there's kind of two build-ups in tracks in the middle. And then the most interesting part to me is actually the breakdown till the end. It's like the deconstructing of the track. The build-up is fairly in your face and ready to mix. The middle gets interesting or not, could be boring, the track could be too long. But in this case, deconstruction, to me, the deconstruction of a track is always very interesting, because if the track takes long, you probably notice in the deconstruction different elements of the track itself. And then different creativity, different mixes, different sounds, different effects, and makes the track very interesting from beginning till the end. But this track is very interesting from the beginning. So if you put this on, let's say it's 8 a.m. and you have to open a party or something, this really sets the tone from the beginning with a decent underground feel, and then it evolves into something very kind of hypnotic, flirty, playful, but yes, very brilliantly mixed. The tension of the track is just spot on, and I think the break isn't spectacular to my opinion, but it's a very well constructed in its minimalism of the track. But the deconstruction for me is very interesting to listen to. So let's start at the beginning and like feel the tension of the beginning. So let's close your eyes and think it's 8 a.m. just coming to the party. First people are coming in. You're having your first beer. Lights is going down. Lights strobo, maybe not activated, but the smaller gentle atmospherical lights go up, and then this track is the beginning of the set. It really sets the tone for a decent build-up, warm-up set with an underground feel. Yeah, I really like it. Like the kick is very prominent, and yet the hi-hat not overruling. It's very well balanced. Maybe the bass line could use some sort of minimal twitch, but it's very well balanced. It's a steady build up, gentle. Maybe I should personally skip the hi-hats a bit more till I'm further in the track, but that's gentle taste. The track is fairly short, so yeah, I understand why it's so heavily integrated with all elements from the beginning. I don't think there are any minutes on the Discogs page. Average rating of 4.93 is very high. Whoa, amazing. So this for me is getting annoyed. Like it's taking too long to shift into another feel, another tension. It's a good track to make, but it's not a track that stands on its own for me personally. But yeah, I think it's a good track, but it takes too long to build up variation. That's what a nice touch, and that should be more into the track. Maybe mix down some elements, leave out the claps, leave out the hi-hats, add more variation. Could maybe make it more interesting. But yeah, fair to say this is a very qualitative sound, very qualitative track. This is actually the break. Which is very boring to me. This is the thing I'm talking about. The small variation in bass line makes it interesting. It's very gentle, you have to notice it, but the interesting part. The track should be shorter to make it more interesting, or leave out I should leave out more elements to make it more interesting, to have more build up, to variate more into the track. But I think it should be shorter. Personally, I would make it shorter, but this is a very brilliant track. And this is the interesting part. Deconstruction matters the most. It shows how the track is built up. If you're upcoming producer, if you're looking for inspiration, don't listen to tracks in the middle or the beginning, but listen to the deconstruction of the track, because there are the most ideas to have inspiration for tracks. Most variation, most different elements. Like this cut could be interesting as a break to me, but it's in the Deconstruction, which is really a shame. Bam! And this could be a very interesting break, but it's out to Deconstruction, so opportunity lost to me personally. But yeah, this was A.r.t.less. On the A.r.t.less label, this was Waveguide, the Quod EP on A.r.t.less from Germany. Decent label, very interesting tracks. Check out the Discogs catalog. See you on the next Deconstruction of Tracks.